guys, Joshua Peterson here with Peterson Electric. I want to talk to you today about spray painting your cabinet doors. I did mine in my house. I used that 390 Graco stand-up machine where you can put a 5-gallon bucket under it. I want to talk to you real quick about what the process was. I took a picture of my wife's phone so you could see it. Anyways, we went and plasticed off the garage. If you saw my heater video, you already heard me talk about how to get that heat. I did this in December. And I hung everything in there, as you can kind of see there, with some guy wire, like you would baling wire for a fence. Drilled teeny little holes in the top with hooks where I knew it was going to be the bottom or the door of the drawer, and hung them. 2 on the bigger ones, 1 on the smaller. And that made it great to be able to hang and spray. Again, you want to plastic everything off in that garage in a big, huge square. The fine paint did not go upwards, but it did go everywhere below and down, and make sure you get the floor clean. It is going to be a water-based paint. This is what I did, just so you know. All you're going to need is about 1 gallon bucket of this stuff for prime, not 2. Oh, sorry, this is the white prime I used by Sherwin-Williams. We did 2 coats of that, top, bottom, sides, everything. And then we did 2 coats of this paint as well, the Premier. And if it were me and I was going to have a rental, I would just prime it 3 times, and I probably would never paint them. But I already had my other part of my cabinets painted, and they peeled because the lovely big box store, which I won't say its name, but I think it's orange and black, if that helps you out, they told me the wrong primer. So 5 years later, all of my paint started to peel after all my hard work of sanding. So my wife found these cabinet doors, a company online that makes cabinet doors. We got them brown. And we went ahead and ordered like 14 of the doors and 9 or 10 of the drawers. So this is how it turned out. Just got it finished up. Turned out really nice. As you can see, I did this wrong. I'll have to get some putty, but I put the hook right there. I should have had it the other way on that one. But I'll get some putty on that, put a little touch-up paint. But yeah, it turned out really nice on the inside and out. This was done just a week ago. Here's my old cabinets right here. We had to get this drawer taken off. We're trying to see if we can get one of those with some hinges right here, so we can put just our wash rag or sponge in there. So probably got to peel this off just a hair. It's the last piece I got to do. As you can see, I sanded all those down. I put that primer and then the paint. And this primer was the wrong one that came off. I definitely think it's better to do a high pressure spray painter than it is to roll. It's going to last longer. And I did talk to you about the other video on those tips. It was like a 311. Turned out really nice. I ended up having a crown up there at the top, crown at the bottom. I'll do some under cabinet lighting next and talk about that. So that was the process, just to keep in mind. Again, you're only 1 gallon of paint and 1 gallon of primer on something like this. If you're doing just the doors. If you're doing the whole entire cabinet and spraying everything, you might have 2 gallons each. You want some touch-up, okay? But I had an extra gallon of paint of touch-up, and that's fine. If we don't use it, we don't use it. Can't really take it back because it's pre-mixed. So again, that's the brand that I would use. Now you can get a fine flat finish with a little bit of a lacquer mixed in, and I definitely would have done that. Next time would have been nice to know that, because then it would have had a little bit more of a tolerance to anything coming on it. But this is definitely a better finish here than what ended up being here, which this was done 5 years ago. As long as nobody touches that area, we didn't have an issue with it, but the areas that got touched all the time with the fingers was with the kids, and definitely was turning out more here peeling. My wife did go with a very nice Bondo on a couple pieces right here that got hot from the kitchen and started to peel. She Bondoed it and repainted it, and we used a Bondo Sherwin-Williams that we did on the outside of our exterior of our house, and we can use it on the interior. But mind you can't use an interior on an exterior, but you can use the exterior Bondo Prime on the interior. Right here, we've got our hinges put back on. Those worked out. This had to be a little bit lower. Drilled some pilot holes and recessed our screws with a 832 screw that you'd use on a lighting fixture, and our handles. So, yeah, I think it's a good thing if you can reuse your cabinets. Oh, I forgot to say, my wife did reline everything in here very nicely with some plastic to keep the water off, so it looked nicer.